So I'm sure anybody watching this video already knows TJ Hockenson was traded today to the Minnesota Vikings, but the Lions might not yet be done making moves. So let's get into that and a little bit more in today's Lions Talk Live. Well, greetings and salutations to everybody out there in YouTube land. I am your host once again. I am Dan Thornton, and thank you for taking time out of your day. I get this video is going to be coming out a little bit late, but thank you for joining Lions Talk Live. Sorry, it's been a busy day between the trade of TJ Hockenson and me actually having to have a job. But all that being said, I want to dive into talking about that trade and the fact that the Lions might be looking to check over some of the waiver wire cuts today, maybe like Sidney Jones. Obviously, the Lions need help in the defensive secondary. Jones was rumored to be a potential trade candidate, possibly even to Detroit. Him and William Jackson were targets named throughout many a publication in the last few weeks. The Lions could target to bring in on the cheap and try to help a much-needed area of concern with the defense, the secondary. Jackson seems like a little bit of a reach just because he does have a history of some back injuries. But Jones is an intriguing possibility because he is somebody that's, he's not very old. He's only been in the league a few years. He is pretty good and experienced as a cover corner. He does seem to meet the physical nature that the Lions like out of their corners. So with all that being said, and now that you can put in a waiver claim, and guess what? You get him before anybody else since you're the number one team right now as far as a worst record in the league. So here are two options that we could target and go in and possibly bring in to immediately help out a team in an area of grave need. But let's be honest, it's unclear what the Lions are trying to do. Are they going to try to tank, or are they going to actually try to win? We're going to probably know a lot within the next, say, 24 to 48 hours based on how they hit these waiver wire cuts that happened late at the trade deadline when teams weren't able to trade away some players they no longer wanted. So sticking on the topic of Jones, obviously he would add help. He started 11 games for Seattle his last two seasons. He had 10 pass breakups, 60 tackles. So the guy has some abilities. How much of an impact would he have on Detroit? Well, that remains to be seen. I do believe I messed up and said earlier that William Jackson had been cut, but no, he had been traded to the Steelers. I know he was a trade target by the Lions, or at least being considered in numerous different media speculations, but he was actually traded to the Steelers earlier today, where Sidney Jones was cut. And, in my opinion, I think we should go for him. Why not? You can rent him out for basically the rest of the year, see if he's someone worth keeping. If nothing else, you've definitely increased your depth in an area of grave concern for this defense. But let's get a little bit more onto the topic of TJ Hockenson. Whatever the case may be is regarding why Hockenson was traded, what we'll do with Sidney Jones, if we'll be able to go after him and get him. Here's what we do know now. The Lions are clearly bulking up in the first and second rounds, and they're probably not done. They're probably going to make some more moves to acquire a bunch of draft picks early in next year's draft. If my prediction that Jameson Williams does become a starter and Michell does too, then that's 6 rookies starting out of this last year's draft. That's an incredible amount of youth and return on draft picks from last year's draft class. The year before, obviously, we had a few impact players too. So it's my guess the Lions really are looking at this as a long-term rebuild. We're going to probably try to get, some impact players with those first 2-round picks, potentially with having a couple other, seconds and thirds, maybe trade back up to have 3 first-round picks next year. We'll wait and see what happens, though, come draft day. All right, well, I'm going to wrap up today's Lions Talk Live. If you are new to the channel, if you're enjoying it, please consider subscribing. Maybe leave some questions down here for us in the comments section below. Go ahead and smash that like button. Whatever you do, all that interaction helps us greatly. Again, sorry for getting this video out a little bit late today, but hey, life happens sometimes. I will look forward to talking to you all tomorrow on Lions Talk Live.